I just walked in. I mean, the couches are gone. There's a chair, I guess. TV's down. Kitchen table is gone. Oh, how nice. He left the cats.
I live with my boyfriend's parents, and it will forever be this way. Well, he's an only son. He's Albanian. And in their culture, if it's an only son, he stays with his family, you know? The whole first year, I was really uncomfortable. Now, I wouldn't take it any other way. When we argue, which is rare, she's there, like, to kind of tell us, oh, like, relax, like, look at this differently. Like, so, like, we don't argue because we live with that.
Women, our first assignment is about our children. Women should not make more money than their husband. Why? The more women are aiming for making more money, they will forget about their home. Women, our first assignment is about our children.
Most women are emotional beings and men are logical.
I think it is disrespectful to say that women lead by emotion.
I published a study on 46,000 scans looking at the differences between male and female brains, and they're wild. Women have much better frontal lobes function, much better blood flow to the front part of their brain,
which makes them
good leaders.
Hello fam, how are you all doing? Please take a moment to like this video and subscribe. Thank you. In today's video, we will discuss the impact of women's self-worth and independence in relationships. By using various video clips, we will demonstrate the importance of women breaking free from dependency, embracing self-love, and creating life that reflects their true potential rather than limiting themselves based on outdated norms. Let's have a look at this video.
I just walked in. I mean, the couches are gone. There's a chair, I guess. TV's down. Kitchen table is gone. Oh, how nice. He left the cats. I mean, okay. No pots and pans. No utensils. Literally no bowls or plates. I have glasses. There's some cooking utensils, I guess. This actually might be my fucking spare keys for my truck, because he took my truck keys. I mean, I guess I have lettuce. Who knows how long that's been there. I have some food, but no way to cook anything, so that's great. This room, I don't know, the cats threw up on the floor or something, but he took everything from this room except the cat stuff. I mean, not bad. Okay. This room is just fully empty. Another TV missing. And then we have the bathroom. I mean, shower curtains. Like, okay. A mop. Some cleaning supplies, I guess.
That video was quite misleading because a lot of people thought the man moved out without her knowledge, but that wasn't exactly what happened. She came back to give us an update. She gave a full story of what happened. Let's hear the story.
So I'm not going to do a story time, but I'll just clarify some details for you guys so that there's less confusion. So basically, the ex that moved out, him and I broke up literally 7 months ago. We just continued to live together because we were both on the lease and neither of us wanted to leave. So no, I did not go on vacation without my spouse, or I did not go on vacation to cheat. Nothing like that. I literally went on vacation to visit my family. My ex and I were already broken up. I did know he was moving out, but he was supposed to be moving out after I had gotten back. He just decided to move out early. So no, cheating was not the reason for the breakup. We broke up because I'm kind of toxic. I'm kind of controlling. So So no, I'm not a landlord. The video from a few months ago of the freeloader was at a buddy's house that I helped clean. And then in response to all of the other videos on my TikTok, I did meet a new guy through TikTok, but that's not the reason why we broke up again. So yes, there is a new guy, and yes, I am going to be moving into his house. And then for everyone that's been either messaging or commenting saying take the D out of your bio, or is the D for your truck? No, the D is not for the Denali. The tattoo, the D was not for the Denali. The D is solely because the new guy's name is Dayton, so it starts with a D. And that is the one and only time that I will announce the relationship on here.
The reason I played those videos is because I want to have a certain type of conversation. What she's doing is concerning, and I tell you, it is a trend with the younger generation. Let's discuss how moving in with a man early on in relationship without even knowing if that man is fully ready for that relationship, if he really wants to be in that relationship, if he has what you're looking for in a relationship, how that can be very dangerous. It's more dangerous if you're making that move based on convenience rather than emotional readiness. In her case, I think she's doing that based on convenience. We heard her say that she couldn't leave the apartment because their lease was still on. They broke up 7 months ago. None of them wanted to leave. They had to stay together in the same space after ending the relationship for 7 whole months. She went on to say she found a new guy on TikTok and she's planning on moving in with that guy. She has already tattooed the first letter of his name on her body. I'm not trying to say that there is a right way of finding love, but what I'm focusing on here is self-worth and self-respect. Things have pattern and patterns don't fail. When you move this way, the outcome is a certain way, if you get what I mean. If you move like this, you're most likely to have a certain outcome, which is chaotic and disastrous. She did make mention that she was the toxic one in the relationship and that was why the relationship ended. I think it's beyond her being toxic. There is a deeper issue to it. The fact that she can't stay by herself, she feels the need to always be in a relationship, to have an apartment, is a bigger problem. It could be her actions are a way of her reacting from the fear of being alone. And also, it's like she's trying to fill a void. Some women don't feel the need to take a step back and reevaluate their previous relationship. Once that relationship ends, they're on to the next one. It's not a healthy way to live. This is my personal opinion. It's not healthy. You're not doing yourself any good. You need to think and give yourself time to grow, time to develop yourself. You need to learn how to be happy within yourself, how to be happy by yourself. You don't have to place your happiness on a man, on being in a relationship. It's very dangerous. Such behavior screams desperation. It screams lack of self-worth. I know people would often advise others to jump into the next relationship. They usually say after breakup, get under a man to get over your ex. That is not a good advice. It's important for me to highlight how these quick transitions into living together or jumping into relationships can be very harmful to women. It can be harmful to women's emotional well-being and self-identity. When you rush into things like that, you skip the important process of self-discovery and healing. Plus, it often leads to unhealthy dependency on someone else, on a man, to define your happiness. You need to learn to stay by yourself, learn to be happy by yourself, learn to make yourself happy. The dangers of this kind of behavior includes not truly knowing what you want in relationship, having a repeat of a certain pattern, unhealthy patterns, and sometimes you might lose the sight of your own needs and boundaries. So it's a matter of emotional independence and taking time out to figure out who you are outside of a relationship, which is essential for your personal growth. People who often behave like this believe that being in a relationship defines who they are, their worth, and their happiness. As a lady, it's important for you to find fulfillment and strength within yourself so you can approach relationship from a place of confidence and self-awareness.
I live with my boyfriend's parents and it will forever be this way. I've been wanting to talk about this because a lot of people find it not comfortable or crazy or just not normal. And in the beginning, I thought the same way because I'm someone that really enjoys my privacy and my space. And that's the reason why I moved out of my parents' house and I had my own apartment in the city for almost 6 years. So when I first met my boyfriend and he told me this, that, well, he's an only son, he's Albanian. And in their culture, if it's an only son, he stays with his family, you know? And I was like so confused by the idea in the beginning and I was against it. I'm like, well, that's not my culture. Like my culture is that your partner gets you a place and you move in together after you get married, whatever. But now, after I finally let myself, I think the whole first year I was really uncomfortable, but then once I let go and tried to actually get comfortable with it, now I wouldn't take it any other way. Like now, if for example he woke up and he was like, hey, let's move out and get our own place, I would be kind of against it. Like I got super close with his mom, so she helps me with everything. Like we split chores, but we don't like say you have to do this, I have to do this. It's kind of like whoever's up for it does it that day, you know? Like I don't have to do anything, she doesn't have to do anything, but it's like natural, and it's so helpful that she's there. So on the days that I'm tired, on the days that I don't want to do anything, I can literally lay down and do nothing all day and she does everything, or vice versa. And like his dad is always fixing stuff for me, and like it's just so convenient and it's so nice, and we became such like an inseparable family. And the thing is, like we have our own like branch in the house upstairs, and like we have our own bathroom, we have even like a closed off terrace where we have like a huge couch, a TV, and like a coffee machine, like everything, a microwave, like everything. Like we could sit up there all day long, but like most days we are downstairs, all of us gathered up on the couch watching TV, whatever, cooking dinner together. Like if I don't feel like cooking, she cooks. If she doesn't feel like cooking, I cook. If neither of us, John cooks. So it's like we became such like an inseparable family, and I feel like the day that I have kids, she will make my life so much easier, and I'm so thankful for that. Like I think it's the best thing that could have ever possibly happened to me. And sometimes when we argue, which is rare, she's there like to kind of tell us, oh, like relax, like look at this differently. Like so like we don't argue because we live with them. I feel like it helps in so many ways, and we have our alone time, we have our privacy, we travel a lot. Like we go to Europe 2 months at a time during the summer. We go for weekend trips. Like we have our alone romantic time, but when we come home, it's nice. Like when they go somewhere, I miss them. Like I like when they're home, I like when both of them are home. It's just, I don't know. So I'm making this video in case you are in the same situation and you're kind of scared or not letting yourself try, and you're just against it. Let yourself try it. Actually, I was super against it, and now I love it. Like I genuinely love it. So let yourself try new things. Maybe it'll work out for you, maybe it won't work out for you, who knows? But this is my piece of advice, and this is my experience. Love you. I live with my boyfriend's parents, and it will forever be this way. Well, he's an only son, he's Albanian, and in their culture, if it's an only son, he stays with his family, you know? The whole first year I was really uncomfortable. Now I wouldn't take it any other way. When we argue, which is rare, she's there like to kind of tell us, oh, like relax, like look at this differently. Like so like we don't argue because we live with them.
Hi, I'm a Balkan girl from Romania, so I'm going to give you my perspective. I'm going to start with the fact that you guys are not married, and you mentioned that you were uncomfortable the first year. So you have been with him more than a year, and you guys aren't married. You're still his girlfriend, living at home with his parents, doing household chores, basically like a wife, but without any of the perks of a wife. And she mentions in the video that she's happy, she loves their relationship, which totally fine. I think it's time we talk a little bit about the toxic family values in the Balkans, especially when it comes to sons. I don't know what it is with Balkan mothers and fathers. When it comes to their sons, they have this idea that the son must stay with them forever. You have to take care of this family forever. You cannot go anywhere. You are the new head of household. And I know that happens in a lot of culture, but at least from what I see in my culture, it's almost like they think they own you. And I see that in my own family. I'll give you a horrible example. When my parents got divorced, I have a brother. When my parents got divorced, the judge said that they can each get custody of a child, and they both fought over my brother. That's just to give you an example. You do not have to live with your parents. There's things in the culture that happen. That doesn't mean you have to follow every piece of it. It's a choice. And I think it's very easy for a lot of these guys to put it on the culture. I know our culture because I'm also Balkan. I would say it's a stretch, to say the least. She mentions that initially she moved out of her parents' home because she wanted independence, because she wanted to live alone, and she lived in her own apartment for 6 years, only to then get a boyfriend and move in with his parents. If you do end up having to leave that household, or if you guys break up, you leave there with nothing. You are starting from scratch. Balkan culture is extremely patriarchal. Think boy mom, like times 1,000. It's really not a culture that favors women in any way, shape, or form. And it's one of the reasons why I stopped dating any kind of Balkan men. But listen, at the end of the day, do what makes you happy. I just think it's important to have a little bit of that knowledge from someone that has lived that life and knows what I'm talking about.
That is an unusual situation, especially considering the fact that they're not married and she's already adapting to that living condition. It's definitely a red flag for me. Moving in with a boyfriend's family, even before being married, blurs the line between personal space and family space. That can lead to dependency on his family, and their relationship dynamic can become entangled with them, which will make it hard for them to establish independence in their relationship. It's more like their relationship and the family relationship together can't differentiate it. I understand this is a tradition to some people, but personally, I wouldn't want to be in such a situation. She said she didn't want to stay in her family house with her parents. She moved out because she wanted her own space, her own autonomy, her own independence. And now she's living with her boyfriend's family for over a year, and she thinks everything is okay. No. She even went on to talk about having kids when she gets married to the boy, and the mom is going to be there and all that. I don't know, honestly. I'm not going to stay here and say, oh, that's not going to be possible. But there are other things to look at, because that situation does have disadvantages. If you're in a relationship with someone, it should be about you and that person building a healthy bond and learning each other. But when you have the entire family in the mix, it becomes difficult, and the relationship becomes about you and your spouse and your entire family. And if you're someone that loves privacy and space, how then will you get that? You will constantly be upset because those people will be in your face all the time. They will be in your space all the time. So I believe different people want different things. Right now, I think she's happy with it, and I hope she remains happy like that forever, or as long as that relationship lasts. Because in her head, she's already married to the guy. She was talking about marriage and having kids. As a lady, it's important for you to maintain your autonomy, your independence, both in a relationship and outside relationship or marriage. You can't just lose yourself, lose your identity because you got into a relationship. It's important for you to have that individualism so you can build a healthy relationship or marriage. Having so many people in one relationship, it takes the privacy away. That's what I'm trying to say here. She might not understand it right now, but I believe she will do that later, because like she said, she loves her space, and that is being taken away from her. She thinks having her own space upstairs means she has her space. In reality, no. She just has a corner of the house because those people are in her personal business constantly. They are in her relationship, which is her personal business. You don't have to conform to cultural or traditional norms because you want to be in a marriage or relationship with someone where you know that you don't like what the policy or the law or their tradition says. You don't have to lose yourself to be in a relationship. You don't have to give up your freedom and your identity to be in a relationship with a man. If a man is not going to allow you or create an environment for you to be who you are, I mean, be a good person. If you're a good person, I'm not talking about a chaotic human being. So if that man is not going to allow you to be who you are, maintain your identity, your autonomy in a relationship, then that relationship is not for you.
So she says marrying the wrong partner is like death by hanging. This is my testimony. Let's go. So she says this is when I gave birth to my second daughter with beatings and no food. Hey. She says 41 days after giving birth to my second daughter, I was crying every day. By this time, it just they do me like say I drink sniper, but looking at my children, I just pitied them. This is me after crying without food to eat. When I started to accept my fate that I need to keep looking out for my children so I won't die an untimely death out of depression. Me, when I started facing my business, my shop was the only place I was actually genuinely happy. Immediately after closing from the shop, sadness will fill my heart. Damn. This is me when I summoned enough courage to leave the toxic marriage and face my job, business, and children. Look at how she's shining now. Look at that. They don't need to tell you, leave that toxic relationship. It's not worth it. Life of a single mother, I now realize that not everybody is destined to get married. I don't know if I'm wrong, but God came through for me after I left. This is a short story of my life, just 10% out of 100% of what I went through. But I left for my peace of mind and finally found peace with the grace of God. I'm now enjoying my single life more than the married life I was living before. When I first left, I suffered a lot because I started from zero. My beautiful children can now read well and understand, because before what I was going through was also affecting them. God, I am grateful. Now who they alive they give testimony. Now who they alive they give testimony. If you're in a toxic relationship or situationship or whatever you want to call it, just leave. There is no can we manage. There is no management there. Just leave. And you know what I mean by toxic. I don't mean basic disputes. You know what I mean. So please leave for your peace of mind and for your life. Like, follow, share for more.
Wow, that's powerful. It's amazing how much toxic relationship can take away from someone and how leaving that relationship can completely change your life for better. The metaphor she used, marrying the wrong person, is like death by hanging, really does hit hard. And I tell you, a lot of women can relate to her story because a lot of women are currently in such situation. Staying in a toxic, abusive relationship can drain you mentally, physically, emotionally, just like a slow death. Her transformation after leaving her husband speaks volume on the importance of choosing the right partner. You know, sometimes you might think you chose the right partner and then the man changes to something. It just shows you that the man you get married to can either make or mar you. Having her leave that relationship, start from scratch, start business, transform herself and reclaim her life is an inspiring story for a lot of women, for us to learn from. I know it's not easy. I don't know how she did it, but she said she started from scratch. Not everyone can do what she did. Not everyone have the opportunity that she has. That does not mean that you should stay put in that relationship, in that marriage that is not conducive. Once there is life, there is hope. So you need to be alive to progress, to succeed, to move to the next level, the next step. But if you decide to not move out and stay there, that might be the end of you. The fact that her kids are now doing better and they are more vibrant shows the ripple effect of breaking free from a toxic environment. If you decide to remain in your toxic marriage because of your kids, your children, that is not a good environment for them. Whatever you're going through is also affecting them. So if you're in a toxic relationship, don't say you're staying back because of your children or you don't want your children to have a broken home. Don't say that. Think about their own mental health. Whatever you're passing through there, you are passing it on to your children. Whatever way their father is treating you, they are picking that trait from the man, and that's something they will grow up with. They will think it's normal. Why don't you take them out of that toxic environment and take them to a better environment and teach them differently, teach them how to treat people better, rather than staying there and saying you don't want your children to come from broken home? No. Look at the bigger picture. The broken home talk and stigma is what the system uses to force women to stay put in an unconducive marriage. Remember, the system uses shame to make people fall in line. They use shame to make sure they force people to do what they want them to do, what is required of them by the system.
Women, our first assignment is about our children. Women should not make more money than their husband. The more women are aiming for making more money, they will forget about their home. Women, our first assignment is about our children.
Most women are emotional beings and men are logical.
I think it is disrespectful to say that women lead by emotion.
Who indicated that a woman's first assignment is her children? Why is it that a woman cannot earn more than her husband? These are very patriarchal indoctrinations that we need to break as African women. As a woman, you need to make your own money. And if you happen to earn more than your husband, good for you. Make sure you have a solid investment somewhere such that when that marriage becomes toxic and it doesn't work out, you are able to walk away. Stop trying to limit women's ambition by telling them that they cannot earn more than their husbands. And the moment they earn more than their husbands, then they are not able to be good wives and at the same time would neglect their children and their home. It does not make sense. Now, for those of you who are always arguing, especially women, you as a woman, you go like, oh, women can lead because women are emotional and men are logical. Men are not logical. If men were logical, they would not be the people who commit most of the crimes in society. Most men lack emotional regulation and emotional control. Most men are emotionally volatile, and that is the reason why they make bad leaders. Look at the world. Look at all the wars and the state of the world is because of men and their inability to regulate their emotions. Look at crime. Look at femicide, which is the killing of women by men. A man will snap just because a woman indicated that, oh, this relationship is over, this marriage is over. A man will snap and unalive a woman. A man will snap and hurt hurt a woman simply because she was not interested in his advances and turned him down. Men are not logical. Stop promoting that unfounded and baseless gender comparison that men are logical and women are emotional. When you look at brain function, and I'm going to stitch that video by an American psychiatrist, Daniel Amen. When you look at the brain and how the brain functions, women are natural leaders. Women make good leaders because women tend to be more reflective of their actions than men. Even when you look at the animal kingdom, the offsprings do not follow the male. The offsprings follow the female. And the female animals are the ones who lead and protect their offspring. So as a woman, when you make that baseless assumption that men are logical and therefore they're better leaders, clearly you do not know what you're saying. Men are not more logical than women. Most men lack emotional regulation, emotional control, and they act impulsively, and that is why they have the highest rate of committing crimes. My name is Dr. Zita. I'm a sociologist. I share the facts, not fiction. If you're not following, guess what? Hit the follow button.
I published a study on 46,000 scans looking at the differences between male and female brains, and they're wild. Women have much better frontal lobes function, much better blood flow to the front part of their brain, which makes them good leaders. If you think of impulse control and collaboration and communication, and the one statistic that just hammers this home is who goes to jail? Men. 14 times more than women.
She's right. That's patriarchy indoctrination. A lot of us women have been indoctrinated. We've been sold several lies and made to believe those lies. With the patriarchy system, men are supposed to be above women. Women are supposed to be their subordinates. Women are supposed to be beneath men. So imagine having a woman earning more than men or a man in that kind of system. Remember, money gives power, and men understand that. That's the reason why they love money above any other thing. They want to hold on to money because money gives them that power. They've been providers for so long and they understand that. So they know if a woman earns more than a man, there's going to be a shift in power dynamic in that relationship. So these are the lies that the system cooked up to make sure women don't rise above their men. Women don't earn more than men, so that men can constantly be in control of women. Please don't listen to such lies. If you're with a man that feels insecure about your earning, then that man is a red flag. That man is going to eventually become your enemy. He's going to be envious of you. So like I said, he's a red flag. So ladies, do not let the system limit you. Go out there and make your money. Fend for yourself. Be independent. Respect yourself. Don't depend on a man for your happiness. Be the source of your own happiness. Respect yourself enough to know when to walk away from a relationship that is no longer serving you. You don't have to stay put in a toxic marriage or relationship. Your life is very important. You can only be there for your children if you have the life. But if you don't leave that toxic relationship, it might be the end of you. If you would love to watch more videos like this, click this video to watch how broke men use successful women as ladder, and I will see you all in the next one.